I'm Will Ortner. This is Chargers Now, and we got to discuss everything that is going around the Los Angeles Chargers and the latest mock draft from ESPN. They got all the big guns out. Field Yates, Jordan Reed, the great Mel Kiper Jr., and Matt Miller. They are all a part of the latest ESPN mock draft, and we are going to discuss who they had the Chargers taking because, frankly, I was a bit surprised. I thought that I was pretty locked in on who the Chargers were going to take in the first 3 rounds because this is a 3-round mock draft. But I'll tell you right now, they threw me a little bit for a loop there. A couple of moves that I did not see coming for the Chargers. A couple of moves, though, that I do believe will end up helping the Chargers in the long run. Because when you look at this team in Los Angeles, we got some holes to fill. And there are some things that the Chargers are going to need to do if they want to reach the heights that they possibly are going to be looking at reaching. The team has the potential, and I think with a couple of the right draft picks, they could really explode. UP General Manager Joe Hortiz right now, though. Who should the Chargers take in the 2026 NFL Draft? Let me know down below in the comment section. I think there's a couple of different ways that this team could move and maneuver, and I'm really interested in what your opinion is. When you are coming back up, make sure you hit that thumbs up button because the Chargers have 5 picks that they could possibly use in this draft, and I'm very interested to see what a lot of you believe might be the right course of action for this crew and for this team. We're only going to look at picks 22, 55, and 86 on this draft, but I'll tell you right now, this is the first draft that I've seen the Chargers go edge rusher with pick number 22. And now that could be because that Vega Ione was taken at pick number 21. But Keldric Faulk could be an interesting choice here for the Los Angeles Chargers. Because when I look at Faulk, he's actually a pretty darn good player. Went into the SEC, had to fight through a lot of adversity over there because, well, Auburn's not very good, but the SEC is loaded with a ton of talent. When I look at this roster and the teams that he had to play against over at Auburn, it's not like the Tigers were loaded with talent. So it's not like he was going up against a lot of games where they were able to be in the lead and teams had to throw the football a little bit more. That's why I think you're going to see that sack number go down over his career. Now, Faulk had a lot of success in the SEC going up against a lot of the top-end talent in the country. Now, that sack number might be a bit low in 25, but I do love where that pressure number is. He could easily come in and replace Odafe Oweh because that is someone that the Chargers were going to need to have replaced. He's a bigger-bodied edge rusher, easily could step in, not only replacing Oweh this year, but potentially next year or the year after replacing Khalil Mack, who's only got a year or 2 left to go in his career, personally, if you ask me. 6'6", 285, big, strong, physical, can set the edge if need be. I think it's a sneaky good pick. Now, when you look at Faulk, this could be a slight reach. This could be a move that I think people would say, well, you could probably get Faulk later on in the draft. But I'll tell you right now, when you need to just get a body to come in, I don't really hate this move. Obviously, Thule has been fantastic. When Khalil Mack has been healthy, he's been someone that can really go. But when you look at this linebacker depth chart going right now for this Chargers team, you clearly have to find a way to get younger because Bud Dupree, well, the dude's older than dirt. And Khalil Mack, he's even older than dirt. I just think that this is a good addition to this team. It's a clear position of need for this squad. We just really haven't seen the Chargers target an edge rusher in any of the other mock drafts. But as we get closer to the draft, more and more rumors are going to pop up. More and more rumors are going to become news, and more news is going to eventually become facts. That's why you subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep you up to date, and that way you're not shocked when draft day comes and the Chargers make a selection. In fact, you'll probably be able to predict it when you're talking to your buddies. Next pick, Jalen Farmer. An interesting offensive guard position pick here by the Chargers. Obviously, another SEC player, another guy who had a lot of success in the Southeastern Conference from a team that in Kentucky clearly did not do as well as some of the other squads. Did a good job, though, of keeping people off of his quarterback. had a high percentage there. Obviously, you need to see growth at that interior offensive line positions for the Chargers. I would say he did a very good job of not getting a lot of penalties. When you're in the SEC and you're playing O-line, you go up against some of the biggest and baddest defensive linemen in the country. So the fact that Farmer, playing for a team that had to throw the football a lot because, well, Kentucky sucked and they were down a lot, he did a pretty darn good job. Big, strong, physical, fits into that Harbaugh mold, needs to learn how to open his eyes when he's taking photos, but I would say someone that could clearly add into that left guard position, because when you look at the Chargers O-line depth chart right now, I mean, that's not good enough. It just isn't good enough. You have 3 legit starters there on your roster and Cole Strange and Trevor Penning. I'm not trying to be a jerk. That just O-line, it's not good enough. It's better than it was last year, but it's better than it was last year because 2 guys are healthy and you signed Tyler Biadasz. You need to continue to improve. So going and getting Jalen Farmer, he's going to help you in the long run, but he's also going to help you this year. And if you like that the Chargers are using the draft to get better, then go in and hit that thumbs up button on today's video because you love when the Chargers continue to grow. Took a very deep breath there. Took my breath away. Malik Muhammad, that's the last pick that the Chargers take in this ESPN mock draft. Defensive back out of Texas. Another player in a position of value, in a position of need, but a player that I think specifically fits this Chris O'Leary defense because he can play in a multitude of positions. He's a player that is not going to allow others to break tackles on him, not afraid to stick his nose in the mix. A player that can go up and get interceptions while knocking the football down. He played in the SEC. If I hear in the comments, Will only chooses SEC players, I'm going to lose my mind, by the way. I didn't take this mock draft. It's ESPN. But the SEC is maybe the deepest conference in college football. Top to bottom. Big Ten might be the best, but SEC, top to bottom, that's going to be the best competition, in my personal opinion, from a depth standpoint. And so when you see a guy like Muhammad, you know that he's gone against some of the best competition in the college football landscape. He's had a lot of success guarding number 1 and number 2 wide receivers at other SEC teams. He's had a lot of success intercepting the football on quarterbacks that are going to play for a long time in the National Football League. Muhammad is someone who has played in a lot of games that matter. He's a player that is not afraid to put his life and risk everything on the line. That might be a bit extreme. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. He's a guy that's willing to go out and die for his team. I like the move. I think he fits a position of need, and more importantly, he helps make this team better. He helps fill a position of need while continuing to improve. In this ESPN mock draft, you have the Chargers addressing the defense. And while obviously last year's defense was very strong and very good, you lost some key players on that, and you lost your most important person, your play caller. Now, I believe in O'Leary. I believe in your new DC. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he's guaranteed to immediately have success. Sometimes there's growing pains. Sometimes it takes a little bit. And so, you know what's the best way to help a play caller? You get him as many good players as possible. Grade the latest ESPN mock draft down below in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give you a second to go down there and give that grade because, well, I'm going to give you my grade right now. I think it's an A- draft. You filled a lot of positions of need. Now, you took a couple of risks, taking a couple of players that I don't necessarily think that should have been taken quite as high. You probably want to trade back if those are the decisions you're going to make. But I will say this. You got better. A lot better. You had positions of need, and you filled them. So I do end up liking this draft a lot for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that if General Manager Joe Hortiz had this draft, we'd be commending him for having a damn good weekend. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button because you love the Los Angeles Chargers and you love this video and you love everything that we are doing. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. We're having a wonderful weekend here with myself and producer JD. Had a fun time getting you content this week. Gonna have a fun time getting you content next week as well. That's why you subscribe to the channel. We got you covered on everything Los Angeles Chargers. You don't want to miss out on any of that. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and bolt.